Good evening, Albany. I'm Joe Buno.
I'm Barbara Gosson.
And I'm Todd Schlegel.
And this is the premiere of Daily Recap, your evening source for Albany news. This is basically one of ATV's new shows, basically designed to promote coverage of news for the Albany County. In today's news, we have...
A formal debate begins tomorrow over whether to give a $25 billion bridge loan bailout to the big three automakers in the U.S. These three companies, of course, being GM, Ford, and Chrysler. This loan would help them to avoid bankruptcy because many believe the collapse of one of these companies would devastate the already weak economy. The collapse of one of these companies could also set hundreds of thousands of people looking for jobs. There's a lot of debate going on about whether or not this is the right thing to do. The only thing we can do is keep updated and hope that everything works out the best way it can.
In the stock market, the Dow Jones went down another 223 points today after the historic drop a few months ago. It looked like it might go back up, but it didn't. It went back down. The NASDAQ and the global Dow went down as well.
In politics news, after the historic election that occurred weeks ago, Barack Obama went to his hometown of Chicago today to meet with his former rival, Senator John McCain, who we believe they actually were discussing something that has been in the news a lot and on topic of late, which is cabinet positions for Barack Obama's presidency. It is believed that quite possibly we are going to see John McCain in the cabinet. This is all rumor and speculation. Today's meeting was held quite normally very private, but it is believed that a cabinet spot for Senator John McCain is quite possible. Amongst other people known as Bill Richardson, Hillary Clinton are another names that could fill spots within Barack Obama's cabinet, but obviously a lot of people are very excited to see what he's going to be revealing in the coming weeks.
A little more local news here on campus. UAlbany Sports. Tonight at 8:30, UAlbany men's basketball plays DePaul University. Unfortunately, the event is not on campus, but we wish them the best of luck anyways. UAlbany football captured its second straight Northeastern Conference championship this weekend, Saturday, against the Wagner Seahawks by a score of 30-11. Unfortunately, amongst all this good news, the UAlbany women's field hockey team that was attending its first ever national conference, national tournament this weekend, was taken down by the #1 seed in the country, Maryland University.
And some entertainment news. Don't worry, Miley Cyrus is not dead, although someone did hack into her YouTube account and post that online. But she is live and okay.
Some people may be a little bit sad about that news. A lot of people don't like Miley Cyrus, but...
No, really, her dad is very pleased she's still alive.
Okay.
I would hope so.
In out-of-sports news, football fans, Giants are amongst one of the best teams in football after a huge win yesterday. Monday Night Football is tonight. The Browns are playing. I know there are a lot of Cleveland fans that go here. But it was a great day. Great weekend for New York football fans. The Giants won on the Jets won on Thursday. Giants won yesterday, and it's very exciting to think that there's the possibility that we will see the Jets and the Giants possibly in the postseason for the first time in a while. So a lot of people are very excited about the NFL and what's been going on in terms of how the playoffs are starting to formulate. So today we have something very special for the premiere of Daily Recap. Former president of the New York Stock Exchange, Bill Johnston, will be here in a matter of minutes. He's going to be giving us a presentation on his worst 2 days on Wall Street. His worst 2 days were Black Monday, which is October 19th, 1987, when a worldwide stock crash basically just ravished the stock market. And of course, the one that's most famous to us because of our generation, which is September 11th of 2001, when the American stock market especially just plummeted. And of course, it has to be recognized that the stock market crash of recent is definitely
It's
historic. Yeah,
it's affected so many people.
I mean, the #1 stock market crash of all time in terms of points over a 1-day time span was actually this year, October 13th, 2008.
Really?
And the most interesting thing about it is that it dropped in one day 777 points. Now, I think 7 is supposed to be a lucky number, right?
Not so much here.
No, 777 points in one day was the most in stock market history.
That's true. Before we get into the speech that's going to be going on behind us, we'll decide to give you a little background information on who's going to be speaking. Bill Johnson, who was the director of the New York Stock Exchange from 1992 to 1996, after which he served as the president of the stock exchange from 96 to 2002, in a career that began in 1964.
Yeah. He is currently the president of the Omicron Delta Kappa National Leadership Honor Society. And it's really great that he's here to speak with us today. And some fun facts are that he made his first trade at the age of 14.
That's unbelievable.
I didn't do anything when I was 14.
I still don't know how to trade a stock.
I don't either.
No.
I mean, at the age of 14, I didn't know how to work any of that
Well,
stuff.
today's presentation should be quite interesting as we are going to learn about his experiences on Black Monday, which is October 19th, 1987, and September 11th of 2001. But hearing it firsthand is absolutely going to be an amazing experience.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy to be providing coverage.
We're really lucky to have him here and be able to listen to such a great influence on our country.
So we're here in the Albany Ballroom. A lot of Omicron Delta Kappa members are expected to attend to see his presentation. And I have to say, I am too. I'm really actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And for the premiere of Daily Recap, we are actually, very excited. For those of you who are new to ATV, Wake Up Albany premiered last week, the day after the election, which was extremely exciting because it was historic, right?
Big election. I think we all know
So
that.
ATV is off to a phenomenal start with the premiere of Daily Recap on tonight's episode with Bill Johnson, former president of New York Stock Exchange, and of course Wake Up Albany, and many great shows are expected to follow.
Yes, Ford Dolo is expected to premiere next week, correct?
Yes, and we will be premiering For Dolo, which is a comedy sitcom, this week. So definitely keep tuned for that. It should be quite hilarious.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
I believe that we're actually going to have one of the creators of For Dolo being interviewed on Wake Up Albany, I think either tomorrow or Wednesday, so that's definitely something to look forward to. And I can honestly say that I expect to watch it. It should be fun.
I think so.
Who
doesn't like a sitcom?
This may be inappropriate to say. My director may yell at me, but I have seen some.
Gotta watch it.
I have seen some clips, and it is actually really funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's okay to say.
Yeah. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for Dolo, because I think that will be the third show after Wake Up Albany and Daily Recap to be on ATV. Very exciting.
It is.
All right. Well, I'm Joe Buno.
I'm Barbara Gosson.
And I'm Todd Schlegel.
And this was Daily Recap. Stay tuned for Bill Johnston.
Enjoy.
Thank you for tuning in to Daily Recap. We're back with former president of the New York Stock Exchange, Bill Johnston. Bill, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Great to be here.
Your speech was absolutely fantastic. One thing that I really picked up on, you said that after September 11th, you saw representatives from the fire department, the police department, as they came in for the traditional, ritual of ringing the bell to open the stock exchange floor. The round of applause must have been exhilarating. What was going through your mind at that point?
You think about what those people went through in their day jobs versus what I went through in my day job, and they had a much tougher job. And to see their friends, to see the loss of human life was terribly dramatic for those people. Terribly dramatic.
100%. It was definitely must have been a life-changing experience for you.
It's
For all of us.
Wake-up call for the United States of America.
Yes, I agree.
You said that the bank's primary function is to lend money and to not make capital. Do you think that banks today have forgotten this out there?
Yes. In short answer. And in long answer, they better wake up and get around to it before government comes in and tells them how to run their business. And that may happen too.
Yeah, absolutely. With the state that the economy is in now, it's another wake-up call.
Sure.
You said during your speech that you should take advantage of everything that you can while at school. Could you elaborate maybe a little more on that?
Sure, I'll tell you my own mistake. I was a business major at Washington and Lane. I took only business courses. I don't know a mammal from a camel. I didn't read a, truly classic book once I got past the required English courses. I wish I'd had a much broader education than I had, and it was there, and I knew what I was going to do, so I didn't do what I should have done.
Yeah, surf around, get all the electives you want.
Exactly. Take a little science course, take some more humanities, take another psychology course. Tip one. Not enough.
Great advice.
One of the most remarkable facts, when going over your bio was that you made your first trade when you were 14 years old. You have to remember that trade. Do you remember it?
I don't remember what I bought, but I do remember that my father was disappointed because I made money on that trade, and he thought that I would think this was easy.
Right.
You're actually probably better off losing on one or two or three because it'll give you a little humility and maybe a little less gambling urge, shall we say.
Absolutely. What kind of impact did your father have on you growing up?
The dinner conversation was always the stock market. And how my poor sated mother ever lived through it is beyond me. But he lived the game. He was a long-term investor, and basically what I did was I was a day trader as a market maker. I could fall in and out of love with stocks faster than you can fall in and out of love with the co-eds here at the Albany.
Right. Well, I'm sure that you made him very, very proud. To close it out, a lot has been made of political figures nowadays. Like, for example, Barack Obama. To relieve stress, he plays basketball. He'll pick a basketball game with friends. To relieve stress, especially when you were as the president of the New York Stock Exchange, what did you do to take a load off?
I was at the gym every morning at 5 o'clock.
Okay,
The
cardio.
office at 6, right down the street, New York Health and Rackets, right down from the exchange. And I walked 5 blocks up to the stock exchange, and I was in by 6:20, 6:30 every morning because that was my deal with my boss. I was in early. He commuted because he had younger children. Mine were all by that time fled from the house, so it was easier for me.
Then that gave you the stress relief that you needed.
Exactly, and then worst case, you could go back to the apartment building. The trouble is we were out every night, virtually every night, entertaining.
Right.
So, the opportunity to get to a gym at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night was not there. To get to a gym at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I wanted to be in bed as soon as I was up the next morning at 4:30 and out of the apartment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was an absolute pleasure.
Well, it's great meeting
to
all
see
of you, and congratulations to you all in terms of what you're doing here.
Thank you very much. And once again, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Good luck here for you juniors that haven't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Bill. That was Bill Johnston, former president of the New York Stock Exchange. Absolutely fascinating presentation.
Oh God, best advice.
Absolutely. Some of the things that he was talking about. About October 19th, 1987, which was Black Monday. Obviously, I don't think any of us were alive on that day. So being able to hear firsthand how that happened was actually very interesting.
Yes.
He lived it.
Yeah, no, he lived it, and being a regular on the stock exchange floor, I don't think that there was a better person that we could have had here to describe the events. What were some of the things that you found really interesting about today's presentation?
Again, now that I've got his more elaborate version of taking advantage of everything you can, I honestly feel I did exactly what he did so far. I'm taking my comm classes, I'm taking my business classes for the minor. I haven't really looked much into it.
Yeah, so a lot of people say that college is one of the highlights of your life, and he really does understand that you have to take it all in while you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's very important. So take those gen ed electives, students.
They can be fun.
Go beyond them.
Yeah, as much as you may find it horrifically terrible to sit in those classes, according to Mr. Johnston, it's actually a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
What gen ed class are you taking right now? Anything interesting?
None right now. I got some lined up for next semester. Science, a couple different things. I think though the best thing that he did was his 3 pieces of advice at the end. 1, to be passionate about your job. 2, to find a passionate partner. And 3, to give back to your school. I think those were great pieces of advice, and I'll definitely carry them through.
Yeah, hopefully I make enough money one day that I can actually give the school something back.
Yeah.
You know, you said at
He's
our
such a wait
first
for
$1
your
million.
first million.
Right. I don't.
Here's hoping.
Baby steps. But you know, for us, the September 11th experience was absolutely, without a doubt, one of the days that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing his experience on it as he was president of the New York Stock Exchange at that time was really amazing.
Yeah, hearing him take the steps that he did and calling the people that he did, it was an amazing story just to hear how it all went down through his perspective, being so closely involved.
Yes, absolutely. And I can say that it was, you know, I learned so much. I'm just going over my notes here, and it's just, it's unbelievable that he lived through all these moments in our history.
I think that's all the time that we have for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Joe Buno,
I'm Barbara Gosson.
And I'm Todd Schlegel.
and you were just watching the premiere of Daily Recap. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good day.